Good evening everyone, and as both the title and thumbnail suggest, welcome along to this channel update video, which I don't think I've actually done a dedicated channel update video for a while. I know I did do a community post not long ago about different games that I'd like to bring to the channel as a little bit of variety. In the background at the moment you can see some gameplay from Hitman Freelancer. That may be something that I might touch on, but I'll talk about that later in the video. But right now, what I'd like to do is I'd just like to briefly, not go into really, I'll go overly detailed, but just kind of explain to you what's been going on pretty much for, I suppose you could say, the last easily 5-6 months, as to how irregular uploads of content from myself has been, whether it's been other gameplay or whether it's been PGA Tour 2K23. Recently I ended up out of work. I suppose I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but situations here in my own life, both personally and work related, with things going on at work as well, have been building and getting quite complicated, I suppose would be one way that I could put it. Now, I don't want this part of the video to be coming across as a kind of a woe is me, kind of pity me kind of thing. I know everybody has their own things going on, but I just wanted to kind of like touch base with everybody. And I feel like, especially for those of you who have been with the channel for a very long time, since I started uploading content back in the Golf Club 2, I feel it's only right that I should just as I mentioned there, just touch base, which is just kind of let you know briefly and to an extent as to what's going on. Yeah, so a lot of stuff at work, wondering what's going to be happening with the job and such. At the moment, we are secure for now anyway, so that's a little bit off the shoulders. But then just stuff in personal life as well has just been building. Again, I'm not going to go into much detail over that, but basically, as I say, it's just been building, and it got to the point where I still have a bit of a terrible sleeping habit, but I wasn't sleeping at night. I dragging myself into work now. I start work quite early in the morning, and I don't get to bed until late, and I'm lucky if I'm getting maybe 2 hours sleep a night. I was getting to the point where I'd be maybe just going by that, from the time that I get up in the morning to the time that I'd be going to bed, I'd be maybe eating a sandwich in the evening or something like that. Maybe the odd time eating twice a day, only small things as well, not really much. Over, as I say, it's been over the last 5-6 months easily anyway. Like, I've had numerous opportunities during the day or during the evening, whatever, where I'd be sitting down, I'd be saying, right, gonna record, gonna get a playthrough done here on 2K23 or whatever, and I'd be there poised, ready to press record, and just as I'm about to hit it, boom, brain says, nah, just no, not in the mood, don't want to do it. And I'd end up switching off to, say, if it was 2K23 doing a course playthrough, I'd turn the game off, and I'd just go and play something else, or I'd just stick YouTube or Netflix on or something like that. What else was happening was where I'd be sitting down, or I earlier on in the day I'd be saying to myself, right, when I get home, I know I'm gonna have a bit of time to myself. I'm gonna record a video, and try and get that edited and such in the time that I have, and get it uploaded and whatnot, and let it process probably the next day, get it published. And all I want to do is try and sleep, and I get maybe about an hour and a half power nap, I suppose you could say, but not actual proper sleep. My sleep just went boom, out the window. It's been completely gone. I'm trying to get it back on track, trying to get my eating back on track, with eating a bit more, even if they are only small things, eating a bit more regularly throughout the day. But it got to the point where, let me see, not last week, the week before, so a couple of weeks ago, I ended up actually out of work for a week, due to basically body just said, no, that's it, stop it all now. and it just due to stress, basically, is the best way to put it. The last time that I was out of work for a week at least was back in 2021, around St. Patrick's Day, actually, when I got the C19, shall we call it. I won't say the whole thing. Apparently I heard that the algorithm and such doesn't like that, so I won't mention the whole thing, but you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was basically things that happened over the weekend there a couple of weeks ago, and I powered through work on the Monday and didn't sleep at all Monday night, and I couldn't face work, just the way that I was feeling. And then I missed work on the Wednesday. It wasn't a full week, it was but it was basically a week, 4 days anyway. I got up down the Thursday morning. I said, I don't know. Well, on the Wednesday night, I said, I don't know. I'll see how I feel when I get up. So the alarm went off on the Thursday morning, and I said, right, I'll go in. I'll see how I got on. I barely lasted an hour. I just headed straight into the office and just said, look, you might as well say I almost had a slight breakdown in work. When I went into the office, what had happened was just all of a sudden the legs were trembling. There was no power on them. There was no power in my arms, and I was getting tingling down both arms. Heart was beating out of the chest, and it was just racing like crazy. And I just shaking and sweating the whole lot. And I just went in. I said, no, I cannot do this. And I proceeded to then. There was no quick way for me to get home because of where I live, so I ended up having about an 1.5 to 2 hour trip back across the city to get back home, and I just straight back into bed. And a couple of people then said to me, look, just take the next day off as well, take Friday off, take the rest of the week, come back and just try and get things sorted, and start off next week fresh. So not been doing too bad since then. Trying to manage it, but with what's going on personally, have got that on track for hopefully getting sorted and hopefully nipping it all in the bud. Maybe sometime down the road I will go into what has been going on in particular, but right now at the moment I won't, just as it is all ongoing. But yeah, it is basically has been affecting me both initially mentally, but now obviously it was going physically as well, with the way that I ended up in work and such like that. So I'm trying to control at least the physical aspect of things at the moment. But again, I know everybody has their own things going on, whether it's small or major, whatever. Again, so I just don't want this part to come across as a kind of a woe is me kind of thing. Everybody has their own things to deal with. So pretty much for the rest of this video, what I want to talk about is, firstly, in a moment, we'll skip over to some PGA Tour 2K23 gameplay. In the background, I'll talk about what I want to do with that. I will, if I try to remember in editing, I'll put chapters down in the description. And if you feel that you just want to skip to a certain part and hear about that, by all means, go ahead. But after talking about 2K23 then, and what I hopefully plan to do with that, there'll be some other bits of gameplay, and I'll talk about them because, as I did mention with the community poll there a while ago, that I would like to try and bring some more content to the channel as a bit of variety. I mean, I'm not forcing anybody to actually watch any content. If you're here specifically for PGA Tour, if you've been here since the Golf Club too, and that all you're interested in is the golf content, by all means feel free to not watch any other content that I upload. If anything takes your fancy and you do fancy watching it, by all means go ahead. And you never know, maybe if you've never played or even heard of the game before and you think, oh, I like that, if I put you onto a game that you might be interested in, well then happy days. But and if the content doesn't do, I'm not expecting anything that isn't golf to do as well as golf could do, although the views and such like that for 2K23 have been down. I did notice that the last few videos that I have uploaded, they have been down. I think that's across the board, though, to be fair. But yeah, so you see, we're just wrapping up a mission here from Hitman Freelancer. As I say, that may be something that I might the odd time dabble in. There are plenty of channels doing Freelancer. There's some excellent channels that I follow actually that do Hitman Freelancer. So maybe I might do one or two, but otherwise I'll just leave that to those. But yeah, what we'll do right now is we will skip over to what I want to talk about for PGA Tour 2K23 and what my plans are for that. Okay, so PGA Tour 2K23, obviously that is the main content, should I say, here on the channel. Always will be until the next PGA Tour comes out. I think it's safe to say at the moment now that obviously, as I'm recording this, I will apologise actually if you do hear any loud bangs in the background. I am actually recording this on Halloween afternoon, so October 31st. But by the time this video goes live, it's obviously going to be November, so I think it's pretty much safe to say that there is still the guts of a year, at least anyway, I'd say roughly, left in 2K23's life cycle. I'm gonna just throw it out there, hazard a guess that it's gonna be probably somewhere similar, maybe end of September, early October or something like that, before we'll see the next game launch. I could be wrong, could even be a year after that. I honestly have no idea yet, genuinely. But yeah, obviously, this being the main content here on the channel, I've majority, should I say, done course playthroughs. A lot of people have always referred to them as reviews. I've never classed them as reviews myself, just course playthroughs. I give my own opinion, I have a look around, if something catches my eye, I'll check it out briefly. And such like that. I know I did used to do some society events and such like that. But what I want to do now is actually, as I did mention a moment ago, my content has always been more, as I would class it, playthroughs, not actual reviews. But what I was thinking, I was only thinking this there yesterday when I was playing a few rounds in a society event. I was racking my brain trying to think, what way can I go back into this? Because it's been about a month now, I think, since I actually did upload a video. Whatever the last course was, I can't remember what it was. But I was kind of thinking, what way can I do it? What way can I do it? I want to try and do something different. So now, what I want to try and do, I might take a couple of weeks by the time this video goes live. I'm going to maybe do a few trial runs. If they come across well, then I might upload and publish them. But otherwise, just kind of get myself a little bit of a feel for how I want to do it, or how I want to edit things and stuff and get it all together for you guys. That hopefully it doesn't go on for too long. The videos don't. If I can try and condense them down to something in the region of the 30 to 40 minute mark, I'll be happy. But I wouldn't want them to be going any longer than that. So that's what I say. I might take a couple of weeks, couple of trial runs behind the scenes of me doing it. But basically what I want to try and do is actually go down the actual review road, rather than just course playthroughs. Now what I plan to do, and this is why it's going to take a few trial runs behind the scenes for me to do, is I want to not just play, which I generally, should I say, tend to do with the course playthroughs, is only play like pin set 1 from the tips. What I want to do is play is record gameplay, record all 4 rounds. So record them all individually. So all from the tips, play pin set 1, then play pin set 2, play pin set 3, play pin set 4. Keep everything default, as I do with the course playthroughs. Keep everything as the designer set them. And pretty much then chop down each round. So it wouldn't be a case of where I'll play holes 1 through 18 of just round 1. I may even do that. But otherwise, what I'm thinking of is, say, maybe play holes 1 through 4 or something like that of round 1, play holes 5 through, play the rest of the front 9 of a course for round 2, switch it over to that gameplay, and then of the back 9, break that up for rounds 3 and 4, or mix and match, do something like that. And then not have any commentary with those bits, but basically once I've chopped them down, record the commentary, and basically I'll have done notes and such like that for the course, and talk about from a player's perspective, not from a designer's perspective. I'd never do it from a designer's perspective because I'm not a designer myself. Sure, I've mentioned in the last few videos that I don't even recognize half of the assets that are in the designer anymore, because I keep on missing them. I haven't been properly keeping up to date with what's going on in the game. But basically, from a player's perspective, how the course appears, like the views from the tee shots and such like that. In a way, what I do with the playthroughs, but go into a little bit more criticism, I suppose you could say. I know I do give my opinions that if I like something or whatever, but if I see something that I don't like, whether it's routing or something's unfair, like if the greens are unfair, that's why I want to do all 4 pin sets as well. So say if you run a society, you haven't played this course before, maybe you haven't got time to play all 4 rounds, you could check out the video and you could hear me saying, oh well, pin set 1 plays well, nice and fair, you move on to pin set 2, it's getting a bit more difficult, the greens here are very unfair on such and such a hole of whatever pin set, and maybe different aspects of the course, so maybe what I think the routing is like and what kind of options the designer has given you, whether or not it would suit some courses. When the designer sets them, maybe the course might play a bit better if the conditions are sped up a little bit, or maybe they might be perfect the way they are, or maybe just kind of slow them down and that sort of thing. What it would be my own genuine opinion. Everybody else might have their own opinion of the course, but that's kind of what I plan to do. I want to kind of try and get some, because I cannot for the life of me get them to work, some actual proper stinger transitions to go between scenes as well. I was trying to get one. I have done it. I have made one up with my own logo, a sort of stinger transition to go between scenes, but it doesn't seem to work properly because, as a lot of you will more likely be aware, I do all my recording and editing directly on the PlayStation 5 through the Share Factory. Now I do hope, I have my eye on some parts, I'm keeping a close eye on the prices of them, that I'm hoping maybe in the new year, I won't give an exact time frame, but I'm hoping not too much longer, I will finally at last have the PC built, and I'll have access to a lot quicker and easier some better editing software. I mean, I could easily transfer a video file or whatever from the PS5 onto a flash drive and over to the laptop and do it there, but the time and effort that it takes to do that, it's not worth it, so I just do it directly on the PS5. I did do that briefly with the PS4 to artificially upgrade the video quality. I think I was stuck at 720, so to artificially in a way upgrade it to 1080p. So, but obviously now the PS5 and do 1440 at 60 and 4K at 60 as well. So it's easier to stay at this. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do. What I might also do as well is also do something similar to what I've just spoken about, but do it in society events as well. And what that could potentially do is, because there's a couple of societies where I play in where the first round, they might be just 2-round events, and the first round of the event, everything might be on default, similar to what I do myself, of course, playthroughs and such. But then the second round will mix it up a little bit, so the wind will change, and the firmness and speeds of the greens, etc., will change as well. And it does show a good what's the word I'm looking for? It does show a good difference in how the course plays. I can't think, it's on the tip of my tongue, the word that I want. But how the course plays, or how it might play easier or more difficult, depending on how the settings have changed. So that's pretty much, as I say, the plan that I have. Again, I will say it'll all be in my own opinion. Any reviews, it'll be nothing personal against the designer or anything like that. If anything, I'd hope that maybe if the designer was to see the video and say, okay, yeah, I can see where you're coming from as a player, not as a designer. I can't stress that enough. As a player of the course, not as a designer of courses. But yeah, I can see where I'm coming from with my own opinion on whatever I might spot in the course or something like that. So without dragging this section on too much longer, that will do it for pretty much for the 2K23 and what my plans are. Again, I will just say, give me a couple of weeks at least, maybe we say 2 to 3 weeks of just messing around behind the scenes, doing a few trial runs and getting the editing down so it's somewhat reasonable for when I do start to do that. And then hopefully that goes well. So I'm hoping at least, say, mid to late November possibly the first one will go up, the first official review of a course on the channel. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut across to some other gameplay and talk a little bit about that, and then move on to some more. Feel free to keep on watching if you are interested in those ideas for the channel, but if you're strictly for the golf, that's basically what my plan is. But once again, I will say that nobody is obviously forced to watch anything that they don't wish to on the channel. If you're here for a specific piece of content, by all means stick directly to that. But yeah, let's cut over to the next game and talk about that one. So for the first piece of non-2K23 gameplay, well, sorry, I say first piece, I had Hitman Freelancer at the start of the video, but for the first piece, our first potential content to the channel, should I say, that I'd like to bring to the channel is one that I have had once, maybe twice on the channel when the game came out, I think it was, I can't remember, but obviously, as you can see in the background, is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Now, I want to keep this one brief. That what I had been toying with the idea of was just doing rebuilds of cars, so going to a barn, auction, or the junkyard, picking up a car, stripping it down, repairing what's possible, buying any new parts required, rebuilding the car, selling it on, and be done with it. Excuse me. But what I found was, I haven't played the game actually properly for a good while, but when I was playing it a while ago, I got a lot of enjoyment out of actually going back on, because I did it in CMS 19, was playing it on expert mode, so all the highlights of what's broken and what's good and stuff like that, that's gone off the screen. You have to use your noggin and actually be like a mechanic, try and figure out what's wrong with the car. So going down that road, doing it in expert mode, but not just doing rebuilds. What I was toying with the idea of doing was starting off a fresh game and going through the quote-unquote story or career mode. So things would, say for the first video or the first episode, whatever you want to call it, that would start off relatively easy. Or the customer just wants new brakes or something like that. Maybe just a couple of brake discs and pads need to be repaired or replaced. And then, as you can guess whether you've played the game or not, obviously as you progress through it, things progressively become more difficult and more challenging, where there's subtle little things that might not come up and you have to do all your tests and such like that. And basically watch me get frustrated because for a call when I was last playing in an expert mode, I'd gotten up to the point where there was the challenge and things, these niggly little things that you couldn't find. It might be just one sneaky little rubber bushing, or it could be just a clip on the air filter case that would be damaged, and that's causing you not to be able to finish off the job and such like that. Now, when I say frustrated as well, even though, like, I know the odd time a bit of language might sneak out in 2K23 with course playthroughs if I mess up a shot or something like that, but I generally try to keep that I want to say family orientated, where anybody can watch it. I don't gear my videos towards all ages. I gear them towards a specific age group, so adults and maybe teens or whatever, but that if there was any Car Mechanic Simulator content, there might potentially, with me getting frustrated, that things would slip out, so there could potentially be a bit of language in those videos. But yeah, that's pretty much the idea that I have for that. So and if I remember correct, in the community poll that I did do a while back, there was some interest for that, so I might try that out as well in between doing some course reviews on 2K23. So that is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. So next up, we have Police Simulator Patrol Officers, which I have done one video. Yeah, just the one video. I was trying to start off a little series on that already here on the channel. And I'd like to try and get that going again. Maybe there was actually a good update recently on the game, which has brought in actual crime scenes. So where you might get called to an aggravated assault crime or something like that. Now you have actual like crime scenes, so there may be injured people on the ground or whatever, but you have to seal off the area, put down your evidence markers and all that sort of stuff, and investigate, interview witnesses and try and gather information. The more information you get, then you get the possibly the identity, or as much of an identity as you can towards the suspect, go and track him down and all that sort of stuff. The other thing that was added in, I don't know exactly when it was added in because I was away from that game for quite a while, but one of the things that you might have to do when you'd start off a shift was there'd be a problem with drugs and drug dealers in the area, and to actively search them out. But now you can actually get call outs for those. So there'd be a call out for, in a particular area, suspected drug dealing or whatever. So just go to the area, have a look for anybody that's suspicious, and then when you see them doing their little deals, pursue a couple of times I have actually gotten where you can get the person who's purchasing the drugs and the actual the seller themselves, but mainly focusing obviously on the seller. So I'd like to try a little bit of that again and see how well that does again, if it gets any interest, or if anything like that, or if it has anyway decent views. I might keep that going in a not a regular but an irregular series, again similar to Car Mechanic Simulator, in between course reviews of on 2K23. So yeah, that's Police Simulator Patrol Officers that I want to potentially hopefully bring back to the channel once again, and see how well that does. And then technically, finally for this video, the other piece of content that I would like to try out on the channel and see how well it does is Call of the Wild, the Angler. I mentioned before that I numerous times trying to bring Fishing Planet to the channel, but for whatever reason, I have no idea why, on PlayStation, be it PS5 or PS4, the game audio would never record. I'd be able to hear it in my headphones, but when listening back to the video, you'd only be able to hear the commentary, absolutely no gameplay whatsoever. For some reason, no matter what you did, you'd have to have an external capture card, or be playing, I believe Xbox was okay. Bless you, cat sneezing again. Or be playing on PC and recording through OBS and such like that, to be able to have the gameplay audio working. I genuinely have no idea. No, I don't think anybody could ever figure that out, if I remember correct. But anyway, yeah, Call of the Wild, the Angler, from the same people obviously who make The Hunter, Call of the Wild. Another excellent game which I have not been to in quite a while. Yeah, really enjoying this nice open world fishing game, just a nice chilled out game. Just correct. And basically what I have the idea in my head for this one is to just the gameplay you can see in the background. I'm going for a challenge at the moment where I have to catch a gold rank or a trout. So it could be doing a challenge like that, or it could be just a case of I'll just stick on the game and just play for a while, see what I can catch, record some commentary, edit it down, upload it for you guys. And again, and once again, similar to the previous two, if there is any interest in it and it gets some somewhat decent views and a little bit of a following, well then hopefully maybe make that into a little bit of a series as well. So yeah, that's another one. These will probably take a little bit longer to do because similar to what I plan to do with 2K23, there'll be quite a lot of editing in them to condense them down into a manageable video length where it's not going on too long. But again, I'll see how well that does. I'll give it 1 or 2 videos and see what the response is like on that. But yeah, that's Call of the Wild, the Angler. So I'll cut back over to some more 2K23 gameplay, and I'll let you just talk about briefly to wrap up the video, because see, we are coming up on 30 minutes now already. Just some other potential titles that aren't out yet. At least I don't think. At least one of them at least isn't out anyway. Yet they are on PC, or yeah, I think both of them are on PC. But yeah, that I might try out on the channel also, when they are definitely 100% out on PlayStation anyway. So yeah, we'll cut back over to some 2K23 and I'll just talk about them while we then wrap up the video. Okay, so to round out the video, just the last couple of potential games for content on the channel to just break it away for anybody who wants to watch something other than the golf, or anybody new to the channel who might not be strictly golf and is interested in the other titles, is one that was released earlier on this month, or should I say last month now, early October I believe, on PC already. I think it's sometime early, I think it's Q1 of 2024 for Xbox and PlayStation, is Thief Simulator 2. I did toy with the idea of bringing the first game to the channel quite a while ago, but I never did do that, doing a playthrough. So hopefully maybe when that comes out for PlayStation, or if I possibly have the PC built by the time it does come out, maybe even on PC, doing a playthrough of that. I really enjoyed the first game. It was a little bit, it was kind of clunky here and there. I think there is still some of those things happening in the second game from gameplay that I have seen on YouTube and stuff, but it's still already, I can see, looks to be quite a fun game. They've expanded on different ways to do things and such like that, and I genuinely cannot wait for that game to come out. So I will possibly try that on the channel. If there is any interest in that, ahead of time, do let me know. Drop it down below if you'd be interested to see it when that does come out. Again, I believe it's sometime roughly around about Q1, somewhere in Q1 of 2024, but it is already currently out on PC, so there's plenty of gameplay of it anyway. But the other game then is I think I did one, maybe two videos. I know definitely one, possibly two though, videos of the first game, and that is House Flipper 2. Now I believe it's somewhere around about December 14th. I was just having a look there. It's around about December 14th. It's going to be releasing on PC, and then it just at the moment says at a later date on console, so your PS4, PS5, Xbox One and Series X and S. Apologies if you can hear that in the background, some fireworks going off. Again, I am recording this on Halloween, so it's starting to build up now where the fireworks, I don't know if there's going to be bonfires this year, depends on what the weather's like, but just, yeah, do apologise for the bangs in the background if they are coming across. But yeah, so that's another similar to Call of the Wild, the Angler, just kind of like a nice chilled out game, and car mechanic simulator as well. You can just kind of chill out, just zone out and just relax and unwind or whatever. Maybe kind of like your lazy Sunday afternoon kind of films, like, you know, maybe you're out the night before, you have a bit of a hangover and or something like that, and you're just vegging out and just watching any old crap that's on the telly or something like that. That's the kind of game, just veg out, zone out, don't have to concentrate overly much, similar like what you'd have to do with focusing on the round in golf or something like that to execute your shots and such like that. So yeah, that's another potential piece of content to come to the channel. Again, that will potentially be in the new year. I couldn't see an exact release date for console for that one, but yeah, that's House Flipper 2. So without dragging it on, because we're just gone over the 30-minute mark now, about 31, 32 minutes now into this video, and it's already gone on longer than what I intended. So thank you to anybody who's stuck around with the video for this long. But yeah, I just wanted to bring you up to speed on briefly what's been going on in my own personal life, both at home and in work and such like that, and why. Again, to a degree, I haven't gone into extensive detail, but as to why the content has been quite irregular over the recent months. Again, roughly about 5-6 months easily, if not more. So hopefully, again, for those of you who have been with the channel for quite a long time, you can understand, even though I haven't given extensive detail as to what's been going on. And yeah, just also to just what my potential plans are for the channel. For non-golf content, and what I want to try out for 2K23 itself for the remainder of its life cycle. Again, I'm predicting the guts of a year before we're going to see the next game anyway. But yeah, that's I can't think of anything else to add to the video. If I can, I'll drop it down below in a pinned comment if I do think of anything after I stop recording and I start editing and stuff like that, or I'll drop it down in the description. But yeah, just again, for those of you who are still here with the video, thank you all for sticking around and hearing me waffle on for over 30 minutes. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave this one. So thank you all very much for watching. Once again, thank you all as well for understanding why content to be quite irregular. But yeah, if you did enjoy this one and you do like the idea of all the ideas of what I've mentioned in the video, do drop it a like down below, drop a comment on your thoughts. Also, if you are just brand new to the channel, do feel free to subscribe if you wish, and hopefully maybe we get some new people following the channel, whether you subscribe or whether you just like to come back for whatever content. I look forward to hearing anybody's thoughts and such like that in comments below of all the content. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave it for now. So thank you all very much for watching. I will talk to you all at some stage when I get the next video out there. But until then, take care, have yourselves a good one, and bye for now.